James Edward Bowman, Maryland, FASCP. FCAP was an American physician who was internationally renowned as a specialist in pathology, hematology, and genetics. He was a professor of pathology and genetics at the Pritzker School of Medicine at the University of Chicago. Life and career. James Edward Bowman was born on February 5, 1923, in Washington, D.C., the son of Dorothy, a homemaker, and James Edward Bowman, Sr., a dentist. He attended Dunbar High School. He earned his undergraduate and medical degrees from Howard University in 1943 and 1946. He did medical internships at Freedman's Hospital in Washington, D.C. and at Provident Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. His residency in pathology was at St. Luke's Hospital in Chicago, where he was the first African-American resident. Following residency, Bowman served as chair of pathology at Provident Hospital. He was drafted again and spent 1953 to 1955 as chief of pathology for the Medical Nutrition Laboratory at Fitzsimmons Army Hospital in Aurora, Colorado. After leaving the military, Bowman decided to move overseas. My wife and I decided that we were not going to go back to anything that smacked of segregation, he recalled. He became chair of pathology at Nemazi Hospital in Shiraz, Iran. We were recently married, so we took a chance, he said. It changed our lives completely. Their daughter, Valerie, was born in Iran. In Iran, Bowman saw many diseases for the first time. I saw smallpox, brucellosis, rabies, all sorts of things, he said. One of the most common diseases among certain ethnic groups in Iran was Favism, a metabolic disease caused by an enzyme deficiency in red blood cells. The mutation, which is the most common human enzyme defect, renders those who have it unable to break down a toxin found in fava beans. Favism fit with Bowman unregistered trademark's lifelong focus on inherited blood diseases and led to a series of important discoveries about the genetics of these diseases and the populations they affect, especially in the Middle East, Africa and America. It enabled him to travel all over the world collecting blood samples for DNA testing. It also led to frequent contacts and collaborations with University of Chicago researchers, who had first described the enzyme deficiency and its connection with antimalarial medications. Bowman joined the faculty of the University of Chicago in 1962 as an assistant professor of medicine and pathology and director of the Hospital unregistered trademark's blood bank. He was promoted to full professor and director of laboratories in 1971. From 1973 to 1984, he directed the Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center of the University of Chicago, funded by the National Institutes of Health. He was a member of the National Advisory Group that urged the Nixon administration to initiate the inception of the Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center, which served as a model of patient-centered disease management and research. He also served as Assistant Dean of Students for Minority Affairs for the Pritzker School of Medicine from 1986 to 1990. In 1972, Bowman declared that mandatory sickle cell screening laws were more harmful than beneficial. These laws could revive many of the past misadventures and racism of eugenics movements, he argued at the time, adding that adult screening programs create inaccurate, misleading, politically motivated propaganda which has left mothers frantic. In 1973, he was named to 2 federal review committees designed to oversee sickle cell screening and education and to evaluate laboratory diagnostic techniques. Bowman was certified by the American Board of Pathology in Pathologic Anatomy and Clinical Pathology. He was the first tenured African American professor in the University of Chicago's Biological Sciences Division. He served as the medical school's Assistant Dean of Students for Minority Affairs from 1986 to 1990. He was a Fellow of the Hastings Center, a bioethics research institution. He was married to educator Barbara Bowman and they had one daughter, Valerie Bowman Jarrett, who is a senior advisor to President Barack Obama. Dr. Bowman died of cancer on September 28, 2011, at the University of Chicago Medical Center, at the age of 88. Selected publications: Bowman published numerous articles and books, including Books: Bowman, James E. Robert F. Murray. Genetic Variation and Disorders in Peoples of African Origin. Hopkins. ISBN 978-0-8018-5884-0. Bowman, James E. Distribution and Evolution of Hemoglobin and Globin Loci. Proceedings of the 4th Annual Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center Symposium on the Distribution and Evolution of Hemoglobin and Globin Loci at the University of Chicago, Chicago, Illinois, USA, October 10 Euro 12, 1982. Elsevier. ISBN 978-0-444-00793-3. Journal articles: Bowman, James E. Robert A. Brubaker. Henri Fischer. Paul E. Carson. Characterization of enterobacteria by starch gel electrophoresis of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase and phosphogluconate dehydrogenase. Journal of Bacteriology 94, 544 Euro 551. PMC 251920. PMID 5340676. Shaw, Richard F. Ruth Winter Bloom. James E. Bowman. Hemoglobin and the Genetic Code, Evolution of Protection Against Somatic Mutation. Journal of Molecular Evolution 9, 225 Euro 230 doi, 10.1007/BF017961111. PMID 864725. Bowman, James E. Legal and Ethical Issues in Newborn Screening. Pediatrics 83, 894 Euro 896. Bowman, James E. Prenatal Screening for Hemoglobinopathies. American Journal of Human Genetics 48, 433 Euro 438. PMC 1682982. PMID 1998329. Bowman, James E. Minority Health Issues in Genetics. Community Genetics Euro Public Health Genomics 1, 142 Euro 144 doi, 10.1159/000016152. PMID 11657303. Bowman, James E. Giselle Corby Smith. Peter Lurie. Sidney M. Wolfe. Arthur L. Kaplan. George J. Anners. Amy L. Fairchild. Ronald Bayer. Tuskegee as a Metaphor. Science 285, 47 Euro 8. Author reply 49 Euro 50 doi, 10.1126/Science. 285.5424.47b. PMID 10428701. Bowman, James E. Technical, Genetic, and Ethical Issues in Screening and Testing of African Americans for Hemochromatosis. Genetic Testing 4, 207 Euro 212 doi, 10.1089/1090657005011492. PMID 10953961. Bowman, James E. Genetic Medicine, A Logic of Disease. Perspectives in Biology and Medicine 44, 617 Euro 618 doi, 10.1353/PBM. 2001.0061. See also, List of African American inventors and scientists. Notes. References, Dr. James Bowman Biography. Medical Makers. The History Makers. September 27, 2002. Retrieved March 15, 2009. James Bowman, Expert on Pathology and Blood Diseases, 1923–2011. Chicago News. University of Chicago. September 29, 2011. Retrieved November 30, 2011.